Hey everybody, this is Ty Terrell with iFast University, and today I just want to talk about an exercise that I like to do a lot, and I've done it for years, and that's just writing out progressions of either exercise progressions of through an exercise itself, like a squat, or progressions of how you would deal with a movement flaw or a movement skill that you're trying to build in with an athlete or a client. And so Lance and I were talking, today of preparing for a presentation, and so we got into some progressions of exercise and specifically dealing with problem solving, and I think this is where it really becomes important. But before that, even why I think there's a lot of value in writing things down is because it forces you to own it. It forces you to be accountable for your ideas and your thoughts. And it allows you to think through and organize your thoughts and say, you know what, like I've done this plenty of times. Like this is just not good enough. This is garbage. This is stupid. I don't know what I was thinking. I need to find a better route, a better option, better progressions. These things don't fit together. But then I've also put things down. I'm like, you know what, like, okay, like I'm on the right track. I like where this is going. I can see it in front of me. And I have a good, I have good confidence that this is going to be beneficial to my client or my athlete or whoever. And so I love that aspect of it, that it makes you own it. But two, it also gives you a roadmap. And so when you're coaching and there's, you're worrying about these other things you got going on, a project, something upset you before. I got 5 or 6 people I'm looking at right now. Whatever's distracting you, having these progressions written out and in your mind, and you're confident about them, allows you to navigate your training session a heck of a lot easier with your athletes. You become a far better problem solver when you have these progressions in your back pocket. So I'm going to talk about one specifically, just to give you an example here. So Lance and I were talking about the lack of or the inability to rotate your trunk that we see in whether it's pitchers, a lot of time they side bend instead of rotate through, and like with running coming out of a cut, you'll see a kid like maybe take extra steps to get their chest facing straight ahead where they want to go, or you'll see them side bend to get going straight ahead. So basically the problem is I do this when I should be doing this rotating of the trunk without the whole lot of side bending. So working backwards, let's just take a pitcher for example. When they come on the mound, they side bend, or when they throw off the mound, they side bend instead of rotate and finish towards the plate. And the big performance hang up on this is that you don't have all your energy moving towards the target or moving towards your intended goal. And so your performance will decrease. If I have these things called net forces, okay, so if I move in this direction, the amount of net force that I produce is going to determine what or how well or how fast or how much I move in that direction. And so there's all these forces acting on my body from, vertically and side to side and within the body as well. And so it's the sum of all those forces, the net forces, that determine which direction you're going to go in and how fast or how hard or how far you're going to go. So if I have some of those my energy or net forces going this way, when my target is that way, my performance is going to decrease and suffer because of that. So back to the exercise progression now. If I take a pitcher and I see them side bending on the mound, and then I say, okay, let's work backwards from there. So what exercise might I be able to do that could teach them to rotate their trunk instead of side bend? So let's keep, working from high intensity or sport specific high intensity and down. We go to a side medicine ball throw, and I still see them side bending, kind of coming over the top instead of coming through. And so, okay, they can't do that. So what's next? Maybe I go to like a one arm, cable press. Okay, they can't do that. Now I need to go down to the ground. And so that's, work on an ab exercise there. Or maybe just putting them on the ground where they don't have gravity acting on them. Maybe that makes it easy enough to where they can start to learn to rotate their trunk. So an example that I would use, this is just pure hypothetical here, is first I would use a sagittal plane ab exercise as my lowest progression. So maybe like a front plank, but I would make sure they can, have a neutral spine there. Okay, rotation best occurs when the spine is in a neutral position. So I've established the neutral position with my first ab exercise. Number 2, now I start to introduce low level rotation. So maybe I'm doing like a supine. I'm on my back, and maybe one arm's reaching longer than the other. I'm ab exercise here, and I'm breathing. So now, because my right arm is longer than my left, I've created rotation. Okay, you can do that. Awesome. Maybe now I go half kneeling, one arm cable press, and I'm learning to rotate without side bending. Okay, we've got that. Number 2, I might go to like a lift progression. So maybe like a split stance cable lift, where you're coming up and punching across, and so your body's rotating without the side bend or the side bend. And so now we've got that. And just all these exercises add complexity, intensity, and difficulty as you go through them. So once I do a split stance cable lift, maybe I go to a split stance one-arm med ball push. So my body's not moving. It's getting more dynamic, but it's not super high intensity yet. So I'm learning to rotate instead of side bend. Then maybe I go to a side medicine ball throw where there's more complex movement happening, and see there. So what you do is, that's how I'd work from the ground up. But what I do with my athletes is I say, okay, I want to find the most dynamic version or place on this progression list that you can start in and be successful. I don't necessarily want to take them all the way back to the ground if they don't need to go there. So you meet your athlete or you meet your client where their abilities are. And actually, you know, if you're kind of a geek about this, like I am, the writing the list can be a lot of fun. It can be cool. You can share it with your friends. What do you think about this? Where can I make it better? You can start making up exercises or different variations of old exercises, which is a lot of fun. But anyways, I just wanted to share that with you guys. It's something I do a lot. I urge you to do it. Your programming will benefit, will be, you know, bump up a whole lot more, and I think you'll find that you'll serve your clients and athletes a lot better. So hope this helped. This is Ty from iFast University. We'll see you tomorrow, guys.